everybody, and welcome to the first ever at-home virtual Kinstretch class. So for today, what we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on the neck and the spine, primarily because a lot of us have been working from home at least for the last couple of days, if not for the last couple of weeks. So, or we've just been sitting at a computer or at a TV for much too long. So either way, we're going to focus on the spine and the neck today. What you'll need, ideally a yoga block. If you don't have one, a foam roller can work. If you don't have one of those, a big textbook or a stack of books or something that you can find that you'll be able to essentially squeeze between your legs is going to be primarily the thing we need at foremost. And a ball, a tennis ball, a lacrosse ball, some type of ball or object. All right, well, let's get started. So we are going to start by warming up some of our CARs. For those of you, this is brand new too. CAR stands for controlled articular rotations, and essentially all we're trying to do is move our joints in their widest possible range 3 times. So we're going to start off with the neck, and ideally what I want you to get into is this position here where we're sitting back on our heels. If that's super uncomfortable for you, whether it's in the ankles or the knees, you can grab that yoga block, foam roller or something, sit on that. You can also put it between your legs, and again, sit on that. If that's still uncomfortable for you, you can go into a tall kneeling position. So from this position, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna irradiate through our body. And again, if you're new to this, what that means is we're gonna build tension throughout our body. So I'm gonna have everybody take a breath in. As we breathe out at about 20% effort, you're gonna squeeze your fists, you're gonna drive those fists into the ground, you're gonna squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt. You're gonna drive your neck, drive that chin down towards your chest. We're gonna go to the right first and keep pace with me. We're gonna take that chin and we're gonna scrape that chin along our collarbone until our chin gets to that shoulder. We're gonna rotate right ear to right shoulder. Again, driving those fists down. We're working back into extension, driving that neck back behind us until our ear gets to that opposite shoulder. Chin to shoulder and scrape that collarbone down. That's half a rep. We gotta go back the way we came. So we're going to the left now. So chin goes to left shoulder, ear goes to left shoulder, extend your head all the way back, working through that tightness, ear to shoulder, chin to shoulder, scrape that collarbone down. Now, none of this should be painful. If this is at all painful, change that angle, close that angle down a little bit, right? If that's painful for me here to work through this range, change that angle, go around that pain, don't go through that pain. Again, we're gonna do 2 more, driving those fists down to the ground, chin down to your chest, scraping that chin towards the right till that chin gets the right shoulder, ear to right shoulder, extending your head all the way back until that opposite ear gets that opposite shoulder, chin to shoulder, scrape that collarbone down, reverse, going the opposite direction, chin to shoulder, ear to shoulder, following my pace, working back, opposite ear, opposite shoulder, chin to shoulder, scraping that collarbone down. Last one, check in with that tension. Reverse, try to make the widest circle we possibly can. Ear to shoulder, extending back, opposite ear, opposite shoulder, chin to shoulder, scrape that collarbone down. Half a rep to go, reverse. Try to increase that range every motion we go. Going nice, smooth transitions. Chin to shoulder and scrape down. Next thing we're gonna do is a little bit weird if you've never done this before, so bear with me. But we're gonna work through the thoracic spine or the mid-back. If you're doing okay in this position, we're gonna stay in this position. I'm gonna go side first, opposite side, and then probably face my back to you if you can hear me. But you're gonna hug yourself nice and tight, and as we go through this, I want you to watch my hips. So what I don't wanna do is I don't wanna hinge from the hips. I want to round from the spine. So you can see how that's a drastically different movement. So we don't want to drive those hips forward at all or reach forward. We want to keep those hips or that butt glued to our heels. We're going to go flexion first. So we're going to crunch forward, rounding our back as much as we possibly can. Once we hit that end range, you're going to take your elbows, you're going to rotate your elbows to the right. You're gonna take that right shoulder, you're gonna dip that right shoulder towards the ground, you're gonna feel that mid-back open up, you're gonna extend that sternum to the sky nice and tall. Opposite shoulder, left shoulder dips down, left elbows rotate to the left and you're gonna finish in that crunched forward position. We're gonna go 2 more that same direction, rotating elbows to the right, drive that right shoulder down to the ground, extending, standing nice and tall, drive that left shoulder towards that ground, rotate elbows to the left, and round back forward. Again, I'm gonna go back facing behind you. We're gonna round that mid back, take those elbows to the right, side bend to the right, extend sternum nice and high, side bend to the left, rotate to the left, and crunch forward. Now we have to go back the way we came. So again, hugging ourselves nice and tight, that bottom elbow should stay pinned to our chest. None of this should be painful. Should be feeling it all through the mid back. Rounding forward, taking those elbows, driving them down. Elbows to the left, side bend to the left, extend, stand nice, sit nice and tall, side bend to the right, rotate to the right, and crunch forward. 2 more nice and slow. Rotate elbows right, side bend right, extend, side bend left, rotate left, crunch forward. 1 more. Elbows left, side bend left, extend, side bend right, rotate right, and crunch forward. Let's give those ankles a little bit of a break. You can either come into this tall seated position, you can stand, or I'm gonna sit cross-legged for you all. You're gonna take that object, that yoga block, we're gonna work through our shoulder blades. What our shoulder blades can do, there's 4 movements our shoulder blades can do. We can shrug our shoulders up, we can protract or bringing them apart on that rib cage, we can retract, squeezing them together, and we can depress or bringing them down to our back pockets. So we're gonna go through those 4 movements, and how we're gonna do this, we're gonna take that object and we're gonna squeeze it nice and tight. We're gonna extend those elbows out so that we're not moving from the elbows at all. Again, that's just shoulder and elbow movement. The arms should stay parallel to the ground that entire time. So again, we don't wanna see that. That's just moving my shoulder. That's just moving my elbows. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna shrug our shoulders up towards our ears. We're gonna imagine there's an object out in front of us and we're trying to reach towards that object. We're gonna drive those shoulder blades down into our back pockets and we're gonna squeeze them together. I'm gonna do this for you again, but I'm gonna face behind you. So you can see my shoulder blades. We're gonna shrug up, reach forward, shrug down, squeeze together, shrug up, reach forward, shrug down, squeeze together, reverse, squeeze those shoulder blades together, drive those shoulder blades down your back pocket, reach forward, shrug up, squeeze, down, reach forward, shrug up, squeeze, down, shrug forward, and up. Last thing we're gonna do to warm up is we're gonna do some of our segmental cat camels. Again, if this is brand new to you, first thing we're gonna do, cat camel, rounding our back and arching our back as much as we can. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pay attention to where we are in the spine. So rather than just globally rounding and extending, we're always gonna start at our butt and we're gonna work our way up the spine, going vertebra by vertebra, 1 segment at a time. So what that's gonna look like is if I start fully extended, again, my wrist should be right under my shoulders, knees should be right under my hips. If I start in this fully extended position, I'm gonna stay extended everywhere except my hips, and I'm gonna work my way up the spine, vertebra by vertebra. So again, what that's gonna look like, nothing else is moving. I'm rounding from the pelvis, continuing to round, working my way up. Lumbar spine, mid-back, high mid-back through the shoulder blades, rounding through the neck, finishing tucking my chin to my chest. We're gonna reverse that, dropping that pelvis down. Imagining there's a string pulling each vertebra down towards the ground. I'm not starting to extend until the vertebra underneath is completely done. Reverse. We're gonna do 2 more of these on your own. Follow my pace. rounding that pelvis, working through that low back, through that mid back, through the shoulder blades, tucking that chin. Reverse, dropping that pelvis down, slowly arching, low back, mid back, shoulder blades, and finishing chin to the sky, reversing, tucking that pelvis, low back, mid back, shoulder blades, tucking that chin down, reverse, arching, low back, mid back, shoulder blades, looking up, last time, rounding, working nice, slow control, paying attention to where it's extremely difficult for you to separate or to segmentalize. For me, it's my lumbar spine, it's my mid back, my thoracic spine, right in between my shoulder blades. I have a really hard time visualizing where I am. For me, that's an area that I really try and work a lot harder. I don't have a lot of good thoracic spine control. So we're gonna try and come into this position where we're sitting back on our heels. Again, to review, if you can't sit back on the heels, if it's ankle, if it's knee, grab that yoga block, sit on that yoga block, or a pillow or something like that. Again, if that's super uncomfortable, sitting through here, finding something that we can sit through. But we want to have our butt pinned down to something. So ideally, again, if we get that butt right up to our heels, what we're going to do is we're going to go hands right on either side of you. What this position is going to do is this position is going to lock out our low back and our pelvis from assisting in the motion. So it isolates our thoracic spine and a little bit of our cervical spine as well. So from this position, we're going to arch our back just like we did in those cat camels. You'll feel most of the movement coming from the mid back, and then you're going to round your back again, keeping your hips exactly where they are. We're going to arch our back, and as we arch our back this time, we're going to pull our palms closer towards our feet. And as we round, we're going to try and push our fingers away from our knees. They're not actually moving, but that's the intention we're trying to create. One more each way, really trying to pull into even further extension, pulling the palms closer to the heels and rounding. From this position, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 segmental cat camels. It's a mouthful. But from this position. So if we're starting fully rounded, we're going to pull our palms closer to our heels. They're not going to move, but that's the intention we're trying to create. As we pull those palms, we're going to try and start arching, working our way up the spine, segment by segment. If you're anything like me, this is super difficult. Finishing, looking that nose up to the sky, reversing fingertips away from you as you round through the mid-back, starting at the base as far low as you can of the spine and working your way up, finishing with that chin. We're going to do one more, pulling those palms towards your heels and arching, starting in that lower thoracic spine, working up through your shoulder blades, up, 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 finishing with that nose to the sky, driving those fingertips away from you, rounding through the mid-back, rounding through the shoulder blades, finishing tucking that chin down to our chest. Now that we've warmed up through most of the spine, we're going to finish off today by focusing on isolating the neck. So first exercise we're going to do is we're going to go through driving through the first 2 vertebrae of our neck. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay face down, belly on the mat. Our elbows are going to be out about 45 degrees. Fingertips can be touching if you want. We're going to rest our forehead, either on the mat or on our fingertips. And from this position, what I'm gonna have you do before you lift your forehead off the ground, you're gonna tuck your chin as if you're trying to give yourself a triple chin. So it's gonna sound really weird when I talk. But you're gonna tuck that chin, keeping that chin tucked. You're gonna lift off the ground and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. We're gonna do 4 more of those. And as you tuck that chin, I want you to imagine that someone has your spine on a string and they're pulling that string up towards the, well, I guess it would be away from you, but if you were standing up towards the sky. So you're gonna tuck your chin and lift up and hold that for 5-second count. So again, forehead's on the ground, tucking that chin, pulling up, lifting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 3 more. Tuck that chin and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 2 more. Tuck that chin, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Last one. Tuck that chin, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Last thing we're going to do to finish this up is we're going to build off of that segmentalization through the neck. So how we're going to do that is we're going to do some cervical crunches. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay on your back, knees together. You're going to take that yoga block. You're going to squeeze that yoga block in between your knees. And we're just going to do a chin up, or essentially, is we're just going to work. We're going to tuck that chin in 1 vertebra at a time in our neck, going down. We're going to try and pull off the ground. So we're going to do 3 of these. So what that's going to look like is you're going to tuck the chin, starting high in the neck. You're going to lift that off. And 1 vertebra at a time, you're going to lift your head up off the ground, holding for a 3-second count, and relaxing through there. So we're going to do 3 of those together. So we're going to tuck that chin, giving us that triple chin. If you're talking, it makes it sound really weird. You're going to lift your neck, top of your skull off the ground, working your way down till the entire neck is off the ground. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Front of that neck is really working hard. Tuck that chin. Lift off the ground 1 at a time till everything's off the ground. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Catch your breath. The last one. We're going to make this one the best we can. We're going to squeeze those knees together into that yoga block. We're going to tuck that chin. We're going to lift base of the skull off. Lift the rest of the neck off the ground. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly relax. Catch your breath. All right, that concludes our first virtual at-home Kinstretch class. So I want everyone to check back in the end of the week. I'm going to post another video, and hopefully, if nothing else can come out of this pandemic, at least we can all become a little bit better movers. So thank you guys so much for following along. If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you guys all soon this week.